Hello, welcome back to another episode of the what?
The ABS show.
Also, you're not gonna say of the what?
The ABS show.
All right, if this is your very first time watching, I don't know where you have been, but go ahead and subscribe. And make sure to follow us at the ABS show on Instagram. Yes, I don't know if you guys realize, but this is the very last show that Miss Odera will be on. Odera, how are you feeling right now? This is the very last time you're going to be here in the studio?
I know, I'm going to miss this place. I'm going to miss all the good times that we had, but I'm happy to have experienced it, and I'm onto a clear-cut path. I have a mission ahead of me, and you guys have given me the confidence to go for that mission. I think actually I have you guys to blame.
Ooh, what did we do now?
It's all your fault, because all the talking about Nigeria has made me realize how passionate I am about Nigeria.
Yes.
So I'm done talking. I want to do something now.
And that is the sole goal of this, one of the sole goals of this show is to unite Africa, is to expand and, educate our viewers about Africa, Do you have anybody you want to thank? Me?
I want to thank, of course, Mina for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and for not dropping me as her child. After this, I'm still gonna be her adopted little daughter moving forward. So she's not getting rid of me completely. You guys will still see me on Mina TV very soon.
Oh, okay.
I want to thank you guys for being so welcoming, for keeping, such a nice atmosphere, making it easy to argue and debate.
Yes.
And also to agree with. And I want to thank the crew.
Yes.
It was really nice working with them as well. They make me look so good, both on the camera. They make me sound so good with sound. And see, I think we need to give a wonderful round of applause for our makeup artist, because I'm not this pretty in real life.
She gets you together.
She gets me together,
Yes.
King Kamase. So go follow her and book her for everything. That's all.
We're really gonna miss you.
We're gonna miss you. We
Yeah.
love you.
Can I touch your hair?
Touch it.
Oh my goodness.
I actually got my ring
anytime you're
back.
in New York, anytime you're here around in the corner, just holler, you can always come
I'm sure
back.
she's still with Mina TV, so you guys, this is not the last that you're gonna see of her. She's gonna come on, she's gonna be around. And I'm actually very, very happy for you, because I've always said that you're very political and you're so passionate about it that I know whatever you're going to do in Nigeria, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it well. Like, I've always said that you're amazing at politics. So, and it's a good thing that you're following your dreams.
And not only in Nigeria, explore, honey. Go
I
everywhere.
want to explore the whole of Africa, and I hope you guys come to join me. Don't leave me behind in the motherland.
Yeah, I'm going to explore.
Yeah.
Thank God I took my
And
ring
if you
back.
go home, shout out to your mama. I need some I'm coming to Nigeria.
She's ready to.
All right. So in honor of your last show, introduce the topic. What are we talking about today?
All right. So I want to talk about all the crises going on in Africa and how there is no international recognition of these issues. We have the issues that are going on South Sudan, Somalia. Those issues have been going on for years. We have the issue going on in Cameroon. Just a couple weeks ago, 200 people were killed in just Plateau State by alleged Fulani herdsmen. And I don't think it's possible that 200 people can be killed in the Western world and Eiffel Tower will not change colors, or the Empire State Building will not, or New York will not hold 1 minute of silence for somebody, or somebody will not do anything. Everywhere else in the world, when a tragedy happens, the international world stands still to mourn with that country. It seems to me that nobody cares about Africa. And I wanted to discuss that. Does the world care about Africa?
I think the world do care about Africa, but they don't know how to show it. They don't know how to show that they care. They don't know how to, basically show it. But for me, I think the more cry that we need to do is to stop trying to wait for people to save us. I think that's what it is. So yes, Africa is going through a lot of crises, but we keep waiting for somebody from outside Africa to come help us. How about we start helping ourselves? I think when we start doing that and people see that, they will join in. And this is just my opinion, child.
But
yeah.
helping ourselves has to do with our resources. Do we have all the necessary resources to help ourselves? Like the war resources, the protection resources, the amenities and every other thing. We need them. We need the world. They need to do better. Do you know what's really painful? Like what you just said? The other time there was a tragedy last year, was it in Italy or something, that about 21 people died? The whole of Facebook, the whole world changed their flags, changed their colors because it happened in Europe. But that happens in Africa every day.
And
Listen,
because it happens in Africa every day, they're not going to take us serious. Because
No,
when we
because
cry out that there's
They don't
crisis
pay
in
attention
Africa,
to us anyways.
but the thing is, when we cry out that there's problem in Africa, most people roll their eyes like, oh, what's new,
Listen.
right? But when something out of the blue happens in America or in France, it's like, oh, what is going on? Because it's not something normal that happens.
First of all, what are you talking about? Because there's been shootings in America like every other day,
Those are the ones
stabbings
that make
every
it to
other
news.
day, and it makes it globally on all global news, including CNN. But in my opinion, the world does not care about Africa. That is my opinion. Okay, the world does not care about the people of Africa. The world cares about the resources that Africa has to give. And what the world does is finds different ways to get those resources. And some of those ways is us killing ourselves, because when we're so busy focusing on things that we shouldn't be focused about, they come in and they find other intelligent ways of getting what
Taking
they want.
advantage.
When most of our presidents sit in a room and talk to the presidents of America, they're automatically intimidated. They can't even speak. You know, sometimes they don't even understand the English that is being spoken to them. Sometimes they don't even understand the English that is written. But are they going to say it? They're not going to say it. They can't say it. They just sit there and they take it. And that is the issue. For the simple fact, this might seem not relevant, right? But it is very relevant. I was traveling to Ghana. They charged me $350 for one extra luggage. I said, why so much? They said, because Ghana is so far. I said to her, I flew the same exact airline to Thailand. You charged me $200 for one extra luggage. Thailand is further than Ghana. It's
The country they're going to.
because they have no respect for us. The fact that the planes that fly to Africa are old
Wretched.
and ready to, and our officials do nothing about it. So why is the other Western world gonna care about, forget care, why will they even respect us when the plane that is flying is ready to fall apart and we all go sit in it and go back home? When they're overcharging us for everything and we're still buying tickets to go, why am I paying a $2,000 ticket to go to Ghana and a ticket to China is $1,200 and China is an 18-hour flight and Ghana is an 11-hour flight? You know, we don't think about the correlation between these things, but it is correlated. And you are right that we have to help ourselves. In terms of resources, I don't know about all resources, but we do have some resources. We have enough resources that Britain wants to get our resources. America wants, so we do have resources. We just need to learn how to manage it and not be so easy and so quick to put each other down and we're just so selfish.
Selfishness is a human thing, you know? Like everybody always strive for themselves, to protect themselves. But the main issue here with what is happening in Africa is that these killings are ISIS related. And whenever we hear ISIS, the world has their ears open. But how come Boko Haram is being sponsored by ISIS according to the whole story, and then they invade Plateau State, kill over 200 people, lives are lost and everything, and still the world pays no attention to it because it's an African country. So it's obvious they don't really care about us. Like you said, they care about the resources, which is the natural resources. But when it comes to like supporting us with technology and aids that will help us to protect our people, they don't care.
But
They
we
don't care
can
at
do
all.
it. A young boy in Ghana has created a new engine.
The Google-
The-
yeah,
it's
it's like a
like
Google-
Google that so many people are interested in. He's like 14 years old. So if he can come up with that, and as I always say on the show, some of the most intelligent doctors and engineers that work for NASA and work for a lot of American companies
They're from
are
Africa.
Nigerian and Ghanaian. You know what I mean? So it's not that we're not intelligent enough. The problem is where our resources go, that when the money comes in the country, it's not distributed right. It's not spent on the right things.
Right reasons.
You know, where the president's wife and family members are getting on private jets to come to America to go to the hospital and stuff like that. It's all unnecessary money. Every time you move a private jet from Ghana or Nigeria to America, I mean, it's at the least 20, 30K.
Yeah, 20 to 30.
You know,
So let
and
me
that 20, 30K can help a whole village.
So let me ask you guys think, do you think it's possible that we can ever get to a point where the rest of the world will care about Africa?
Well, I think it's possible. I think it's possible with a generation like ours. And if we are able to make the upcoming generation see these lights and see the importance of what we have and to own our resources, because that's the first thing. The first thing is most of our resources are not even owned by us anymore in Africa. So that's already a problem. So we first need to take back what is ours, and then they will respect us because they control our resources.
I don't like blaming other people for our problems. You did say that people are not talking about it, but some outlets are talking about these issues. But are we clicking on it? Because, you know, they'll put the headlines out that there's something going on in Nigeria, and then the following day, Tonto Dinke is doing something. You saw that headline. You saw that headline. You didn't click on it, right? But you are clicking to look at who is, you know. So sometimes we are focusing on the wrong things in life, and you know that also.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
In regards to what you said, how are we going to get the new generation to make changes when the new generation is addicted to tramadol?
Social media,
They're on tramadol and they're trying. And no disrespect, I'm not trying to say anything bad or anything negative about any artist, but you have Ghanaian artists now doing trap, Afro trap. You know what I mean? Like,
we're being influenced by everything that is from the Western world.
We want to be Western so bad.
Right.
You know those little slippers that I wear that I love? I buy them in the market in Ghana. Gucci has literally stolen the whole design and is selling it for $800, whereas in most educated people in Ghana don't even wear those slippers because they feel like it's local. It's village. We don't even value what we have. The Ghana must go bag. Didn't Balenciaga make the Ghana must go bag? Most of us, actually I'm lying, I do own a couple of Ghana must go bags. But most people don't. Because they look at it like we don't even value, we don't even understand what we have.
So that was my point bringing up this topic, that the rest of the world does not respect us, does not care about us, because basically they've realized we don't care about ourselves. We don't respect each other, because if we had basic human respect, so many lives will not be wasted the way it is on stupid things that could have easily been avoided with the right policies, with the right decision making, with the right information. We don't care about ourselves. That's the truth. You can't ask an outsider to care about you or respect you when they're not seeing that for themselves. Whenever something happens in France or the rest of the world, people are compassionate to it because they know that those people are compassionate, period. The rest of the world cannot see any compassion in Africa because, face it, they already don't know enough about us. They're outside looking in and all they see is us killing ourselves. Do you understand? At the end of the day, anytime these things happen in Europe or the United States, it's always an outsider killing their people. Do you understand? Which is why it's like, oh my God, this is so bad. And why we have Trump. That's why we have Trump, you know, making all the comments that he makes. Because it's other people doing this to themselves. You don't. And when it comes down to like the school shootings or gang-related violence, they set up policies to prevent it. At least they address the issue right then and there. For us, we never see anything like that.
So what are our authorities doing? Because for me, the fish stinks starting from the head.
Oh, I know what they're doing. They're taking private jets and staying at 5-star and 7-star hotels.
Flying out of the country when things are happening.
And chilling. That's what they're doing whilst we suffer.
Because these lives that were lost, what did the president of Nigeria actually do?
I want to ask him.
People will say, don't blame Buhari, he can't do everything, he's the president. We have state governors. Okay, fine. What are the state governors doing? The leaders, in all ramifications, they're not really doing anything to protect the people. So that's the problem. Like you said, if you don't respect yourself, the outside world won't respect you. I think this is not even... In the
Lagos thing, Desmond Elliott, he was an Hollywood actor. He's now one of the members of House of Rep. He tweeted, oh God, what is happening in this country? And so many people like retweeted it, like, when your lawmaker is saying what's going on in this country, is there really any hope left?
Yeah.
Because a lawmaker is supposed to be talking about this is what we're going to do. We've set up a plan. We've set up a community. We're doing a proactive thinking. But he's still going back to
Odera.
90% of the lawmakers and the politicians are not qualified for it. They get those positions because of the affiliation that they have with the party. Like, I become president of Ghana oh yeah, Charlie's my friend. Of course, I'm gonna give Charlie a position.
But that happens in a lot though, because when the president is appointed, they select their
People they
Yeah.
trust.
cabinet. So that
Exactly.
happens everywhere.
It does
The
happen
people are voting
everywhere.
for these dumbass presidents to be in
Exactly.
charge.
It does happen
That's true.
everywhere, but at the same time, what about all the other African countries that do have good presidents that still have bad lawmakers and they don't appoint the right people? They put people again because of that whole African thing. Oh yeah, this guy, he supported this party for this many years. He has to have a post. They don't actually check his background to see what he is good at. And I'm not saying don't give him a post, but if you actually sat back and analyzed every person's strengths and weakness, you could still give those positions, those people posts,
People
but
more
post in the
qualified.
right places.
Yep.
Post that they're actually going to like
Do something.
do something.
And
You
the
get
thing
what
is
I
that
mean?
even
Like
this-
you
this-
don't have experience in politics, but you could easily do something with tourism in Ghana because of your personality and because of how, and you would be good at it. You know, but if I become president and because you're my bestest friend in the world, I just make you
Minister of
Minister of
Finance.
Finance.
You can
That,
control
how does that
money.
help Ghana?
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're doing.
Moment of silence.
Okay.
We don't even it's crazy, man.
It's like rest in peace, Africa.
All right, so you
Literally.
did mention that like Paris. Let's say something happens, they
Eiffel
turn on the
Tower
light.
will change.
What would that do for like in
Awareness.
Africa?
Oh.
For me, it sounds like you're looking for a handout. That's what it sounds like.
No, as in what she was talking about, like it's going to create awareness, and the world is going to be more concerned.
And then
And
what?
it just shows
And then
respect.
policies,
It
and
just
then
shows simple respect for
awareness,
the country and the
it-
people.
Everybody will be awakened. They will create policies. But when everybody plays a deaf
I just
ear,
want a
you just let it
hashtag.
slide under the carpet.
No, but okay, but that's the thing. Oh, even with the Facebook, you know, they now started after the Paris bombings. They now started the Facebook thing.
The blue
yeah, they change
profile.
your profile picture to
I
Paris.
mean, I did it too, but what did that help? I want you to explain to me.
Awareness.
Okay, but that's what I'm
Respect.
saying.
Okay.
Why doesn't it happen in Africa or the Middle East? Like, so we're not big. We don't have flag that you can change your profile picture to.
Yeah.
How are you gonna see it when I change my profile picture? You have no lights.
Okay, but how? Hey, God.
No, I'm just
No, but that's
saying.
not, no, the issue is that what she's talking about is that okay,
Oh.
the whole world is a global village,
Okay.
right? If something is affecting the Middle East, people in the other side of the world are supposed to know. When the stuff happened in Paris, a lot of people didn't know, but when they saw the blue and the whatever flag on Facebook, it created awareness. And it's also going to create respect, and it's also going to make the people of the government and also the foreign aides step up and do something. But when you play deaf ear to something like that, it slides under the carpet, and nothing
You start
happens.
questioning your own existence. Like, are we?
Am I
are we
really
alive?
existing?
Exactly. So I thought about this because online people were freaking out. Like, how come none of the international community is saying anything? ICC, the United Nations, nobody's talking
Nations.
about stepping in. Do you understand? The United Nations is so very much involved with the Middle East issue, with the issue in Palestine and Israel, all of that. But when it comes to our issues, it's like no answer. The ringtone busy. Like, why is it that nobody's answering us or helping us? Because so at this point, it's necessary because we've already established that our leaders are useless.
But could it be that because I watch the news and like it's putting fear in me? But could it be that every country is going through something right now? Like
Oh,
most
really?
countries
in
No,
Africa.
So
no, I'm
African
not
countries
no,
can
no.
slide.
I'm not saying that. Please don't. I'm just saying like we're going through something right now. For Kenya, you know, everybody's busy doing their own thing. That they,
Okay,
you know,
but like people, we're not going through things when Eiffel Tower was changing color for the victims that were lost to whatever happened that year. The way everybody's always going to be going through things. That's my point. Like, so when are we
do we
going
draw
to?
the line?
When
Yeah.
do we draw the line? Well, when do we get to matter? When do our lives matter as well? Do you understand? That was why it was such a big deal when Michelle Obama held up the Bring Back Our Girls issue. Everybody went crazy, like, yay, somebody noticed us finally. And then that's why there was pressure, and that's why the last president was voted out, because there was so much pressure on him to find the girls because the international community was
their
focusing
eyes were
on
on it.
that issue. So that's where I'm coming from. If the international community, which we already know that our leaders respect out of fear, out of intimidation, whatever, if those people are paying attention to our leaders will be forced to do something because they will know that their guy is watching them and they'll have to perform. It's because nobody is paying attention to them that our leaders get away with these things because they're not afraid of us, obviously.
did your leader held up a sign saying "Bring back our girls" to set up an example for the citizens?
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But Michelle Obama did, and then once Michelle Obama did, he had to
Pressure.
step up. the pressure was on, and that's why he was voted out of office, and that's why, you know, they accepted Buhari, because Buhari said, oh, he's gonna take it up.
He said in 3 months he was gonna bring back the girls.
You know what I'm saying? If there was more attention, more care being paid to Africa, I think a lot of things would be so much different. Our leaders will be accountable to somebody. Since they're not accountable to us, obviously, they're not accountable to each other. They don't care about each other. If people start paying attention to our issues, something can happen. Like, we can have at least some type of hope.
I agree with everything that you're saying, but I also agree with a lot that Charlie is saying as well. It's like the saying that charity begins at home. Till we respect each other and till we do for ourselves, why would other people do it, you know? We're busy at home worrying about witches and worried about pastors doing this and like unnecessary stuff. When there's major important things that are going on. And especially a lot of our celebrities have a lot to do with it because, you know, they are the voice, unfortunately.
For some of them have been bought over. They are ass kissers. Most of them have been sponsored by politicians.
Of course.
And so they can't even speak against the government because that's their daily bread.
If you speak up, you're out.
That's it.
All right, so the answer to the question, does the world care about Africa, for you guys will be a no.
Exactly. So that brings me to my message with this question.
Yeah.
It was basically a rhetorical question because we don't need anybody to ask us for us to know that nobody cares about Africa. So Africans, listen to this. Nobody cares about you. Begin to care about yourself. Your savior is not coming. You need to save yourself. We need to help each other. We need to come together and work out these solutions our own. We can't even depend on our leaders any longer. Do you understand? It was not the government, it wasn't politicians that came together and said, oh, we're going to end the slave trade. We're going to end this. No, it was people. It was the people that rose up, came together and said, hey, we need to end this before the politicians were forced to change things. So until Africans come together and realize that all this senseless killing is not going anywhere, it's not going to help us, Africa will not be better. Nigeria, Ghana, nowhere is going to move forward until we realize no Superman is not coming to save us.
Well, that was really awesome because there's no Black Panther that really exists. So you guys should stop waiting for superhero. But like, if we really have, like, we are all educated, we've experienced the Western world, and we know that to an extent we can put one or two things in place. So who thinks he or she is ready to like go back home and make a change to an extent? At least we have voices now. One.
Well, I don't know about
else?
saving Africa.
You can't save Africa.
Okay.
You're not Black Panther.
Yeah,
I've told
I don't know
you.
about saving Africa. I'll probably do it in my own way. I'll bring entertainment to Africa, put some smile in people's faces
need more
because
entertainment.
they do need
We've
it,
had
right?
a lot. We were laughing every day on Instagram. We are tired of
Oh,
laughing.
you need it.
Those things are distractions.
You need Dior.
Actually, for me and my sister have an NGO called Charlotte's Light. And I do a lot of charity work in Ghana. I don't talk about it a lot because I think that there's some things that we just do it. You know, there's no need to just, and like when the celebrities, a lot of times when they do stuff, they go with cameras and then it is for PR. But no, we actually go in and we go to the villages. Our main focus right now is kids with HIV, and we go and we target that because as we all know, disability and people that have disability and sicknesses like that in Africa are basically like shunned, outcast. Like every time we go see them, they're like in the middle of nowhere. I know that is not a political thing, but it is my way, what I know and how I'm helping. So I'm helping one step at a time. Maybe that's gonna grow into something else, grow into something bigger. But for now, that's what
but
I
it
do.
cannot
I
go
do
if you
to
don't
help
talk
out.
about it.
Yes,
So
you have to
you
put
have
it
to
out
talk
there.
about it and put it
No,
out
okay,
there
when
for
I say talk,
sponsorship, for other people to
we do functions, fundraisers, we do stuff like that. But what I mean is like,
Because I've known you for years, and this is the first time I've
well,
ever
then you
heard.
don't really look at my Instagram a lot, then, because
Well,
it's
I
on
do.
my Instagram.
I see
I don't see
pictures
that.
of you.
I
But
see
let's not discredit
All
her
right.
work. But what I
Okay.
want to ask is there anybody interested? Because right now there's a protocol for you to be able to effect change. You have to be outspoken. You have to be fearless because a lot of things could happen to you. So who is ready to take that risk?
I'm ready to take that risk, which is why I'm moving back. Because think about it, well, why am I living in New York? It's like moving backwards. You know, why else would I live in New York? Because I feel at this point, like you're saying it now, there's nobody that wants to take that risk. And I feel, I'm not saying I'm not Black Panther, I'm not Superwoman, I'm not Wonder Woman. Like, I don't think I'm the Messiah. I'm not the one that's going to save Nigeria. But I do think I can serve as a beacon. I can serve like as an inspiration. All I have is my voice. That's the only thing.
But you have to be willing to listen.
That's the only thing. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Somebody repeats something to you over and over and over and over and over. Will you not memorize? Whether you like it or not, once you hear it, you know, it's going to be stuck in your head. You may not like it, but before you know it, you'll be walking down the street and you're singing that song that you heard over and over that you hate so much. So let me just keep talking. But I cannot, at this point, I can't stay back and just do nothing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, I'm tired of talking about it. I don't want to be here and just be looking back at the problem and say, oh my shit, wow, it's such a pity. Let me go back and see what I can do. So even if it's only my voice I can lend, at least I'm present to do that.
Yeah. My advice on that, or my take on that, is kind of like how the Jewish do their things and why they're so successful. And that's what I meant by I don't talk about it a lot. It's not I don't talk about it a lot. When you're doing something, sometimes it's better to plan, strategize, do the work. Sometimes you don't have to like be like this, because then that's when, especially in Africa, you can easily get killed. Like, a lot of things can happen to you. Example is Jay-Z and Beyonce, who do a lot of charity work, but they don't talk about it. Yeah. They don't. Like, Beyonce won't come and put it on her Instagram, Jay-Z won't, but they're two celebrities that do a lot of work behind the scenes to help the Black community.
I think my thing would be more of mentoring, because I do mentor a lot of kids in Ghana that feel different, that feel like they can fit in. They hit me up all the time for advice, how I did it, how I came over it. So I think my thing would be definitely going back and mentoring, you know, people that are like me.
Yeah.
But would you move back? Will you pack your bag, go back and start mentoring?
I will move back, but it has to be, I'm going to go back to test the waters first. Maybe give myself like 6 to 1 year and see how they're going to receive me, child. Because I'm not sure that they'll be ready to receive what I have.
Can I say something? But can I say something? Don't get mad at me, Charlie. You know I love you. But this is why we are our own problem. Or why we're mentally back behind. Because an African born in Africa is not comfortable. But I do live in Africa.
No.
I do live in Africa. I have an apartment in Africa. I do live in Africa, and I go back and forth.
You do not live in Africa.
And to be honest with you, one of the reasons
when are you going back?
Before I signed up for the ABS show, I got an apartment in Ghana. I did everything and I was ready to go. When I signed up for the ABS show was when I was like, okay. And I have thought of leaving the ABS show to go back to finish what I'm doing in Ghana. It's discussions I have with myself and my mom all the time. And my mom said to me, you know, sometimes you never finish the things that you do. She's like, you started the show. It's a great show. You're doing well. Just keep doing
back and forth.
The back and forth. So for me, I go back and forth. I was just last in Ghana, April?
So you're using the ABS show as an excuse.
No, I'm not using it. I'm not using it.
Because she's on the ABS show and she's going back.
Okay. She's been here longer than
but I still
you
go
don't
back.
live in Africa.
But you know I'm going to Ghana in 2 days. You even know that.
But you're not living in Africa.
But I do live there. How can I not live there? I stayed as long as 3 months at a go.
Let me tell you something.
That is living in Africa.
I grew up in Ghana. Okay?
Yeah, I've lived in Ghana
Living in Africa, living in Ghana doesn't mean you go for 2 weeks and wear your Balenciagas and walk
No,
around
not
and
2
then
weeks.
come back. That's vacation, honey.
Not 2 weeks.
And when you go
I
back
stayed-
to when
I
you go back to Ghana, I've been seeing you, I've been seeing you at
No.
Kempinski.
No.
Didn't I see you, sis?
But because I stay at Kempinski, that means I'm not living in Africa.
Exactly.
I hang with the locals.
It's different.
Okay.
Everybody has
And I help them.
Everybody-
I feed the
and
children.
I do too.
And I do have
And
pictures
I
and I'll
do
post it
too.
up. Going and living in Africa means you are there on the land with the locals, knowing their
And I'm
problems.
there.
You are not there, sis. I saw you
Okay,
in
you're
Kempinski.
wrong for that. What do you mean living with the
Is she
locals?
living in Kempinski?
No,
What are you talking about?
That's where you're wrong.
Go to where the problems are.
Listen, that's where you're wrong. For example, Odera wants to go back and she wants to use her voice and she wants everybody to know what she's doing. Everybody has different strategies and different ways of doing things. That is her way. That is the way that works
What
for
is
her.
your way?
It is great. I don't have to say my way. I don't want the world to know my way of what I do and how I help my people. But you best believe that I help my people. You better believe that. And everybody, there are different ways of helping people. Not everybody's going to be the political area. The political hero. Everybody's different. And as we speak here, the change that's needed in Africa starts from the youth and even just how they think, just believing in themselves and knowing that they're beautiful and knowing that they can talk. So even if I go to a school and I'm giving speeches at a school, mentoring the young girls, doing stuff like that, that is still a great way of giving back. It starts, everything is a process. It's the whole entire community. It's not just about, I'm going to go back to Ghana and I'm going to go to the president's door and knock on it and get him to change the law. It doesn't even work like that, and that's not even going to work. You cannot even try to do that. So if I'm hanging out at Kempinski or doing whatever that I'm doing,
I'm not judging, but I'm
he
judging.
wasn't right next to me in the pool at Kempinski.
Okay.
But
By the
when I
way,
came by the pool, I was feeding my
Where
people
are the evidences?
heavy.
Where's your evidence?
I'll post the
and
evidence.
you
I'll send
decided
pictures.
to post it because
You know why I posted to create more awareness, but
that's
you
what
decided
you
not
think.
to post
That's
yours.
that's
and
what
how are
you
you supposed
think.
to know?
That's what you think. But I've raised a lot of money for the kids in Africa,
How,
though,
sis, when you don't
without
talk about
posting.
it? How?
Just because I don't talk about it with you doesn't mean I don't talk about it.
You know,
Are you
I'm
gonna
not-
give me $10,000?
yes,
I'm gonna
not
go talk
asking
about it
how.
with my friends
Yes,
that are gonna give me $10,000.
yes, I'm not asking how for myself. I'm asking how because there are people watching that probably want to do the same thing and they want
Okay,
to know
so now they
your
know.
ways.
My charity is called charlotteslight.org.
And
It's
how do
an
you get your
NGO.
donations?
You can Google it.
Once
And
you
they
check
can
the
Google it.
website,
They
you
can
can
go on the
find
site. They can
everything
DM me. It's so many different
When
ways
are
to
you
go
going
about
back?
it.
Oh
You know
my
I'm going back in a couple of
God.
days.
And are you going to stay? When are you going back? I mean to live.
I do live in Africa. Have you ever heard of business people? Have you heard of business people that live
No.
in Vegas, Miami, and New York at the same time? They go to 3 different places.
But
That's
they're
where all
settled
their
at one
businesses.
place and yours is here.
No, there are people that are settled everywhere. You trying to tell me you don't know somebody that has a house in Vegas and then has a house in New York and then has a house in Miami? That is normal.
Let me just clarify. Let me just clarify that not everybody can do the same thing. At the end of the day, there may not even be space for all of you in Africa. So you people may have to stay here. You know, just because this is the way I want to do it, I don't think anybody should feel pressure that they have to go back to Africa. If you're not led by let's face facts. Nigeria is not easy. I'm taking a pay cut. I'm taking a life cut. I'm going backwards. I'm basically going backwards in time. I'm not going there to sleep on a bed of roses. I cannot afford to go to whatever is the equivalent of Kapinski because my money will finish in a week. Do you understand? So it's not. I'm not going back to a lap of luxury. I will not encourage anybody to go back there. Right? I won't encourage another person. I won't encourage my enemy to go back to Nigeria right now, especially what is going on right now.
Yeah.
The spirit has to lead you, and it's definitely a spirit, very special grace of God that is pushing me to go back there. I don't expect anybody else to understand it. I don't expect anybody else to feel the same way. At any given point in time, when you're ready to move back to Africa or wherever it is, you will do that. But all I'm saying is Africans should hold Africans in mind. If you're not moving back, fine, that's all right. But when you come and see us, you know, come and do something for the people. If it's mentoring, if you're starting up an NGO, which is very commendable, do something. Plant a seed in Africa that will grow to benefit your people no matter what. And that's a message to all Africans in diaspora. That's what we should be doing. If you cannot go back and lend your physical support, do something. Plant a seed there that will grow.
That will help people.
And
that's why I'm gonna test
sometimes
the waters.
it's not about even
If
where
I
you're
go.
from. Like, just because I'm from Ghana doesn't mean that I have to only help out Ghana or I have to move back to Ghana.
But they say
You
charity begins at home.
Okay, but I'm just saying
She's
that you
gonna
don't
start
have
in
to.
in
You don't have to.
Madagascar?
You can go to other countries and help. You trying to tell me that the
Sudan?
Caucasian people who are not even African that get up and go and help in Sudan, go and help in. You don't have to. Charity does begin at home, but I'm saying that because Nigeria is very, very unsafe right now. But Ghana is not as unsafe. South Africa is not as unsafe. So if you want to go back and you want to do something, you might be able to go to Ghana and do it. South Africa, that's what I mean by it.
That's
Odera,
awesome.
stay strong when you go. We will support you. We'll keep talking about all the things that is happening in Africa here on the ABS show, and that is how we
Will
will
you guys
give our
talk about me
support.
when I make headlines?
Of
Yes, we
course,
will.
will be
All
the
right, let
first
us know
story
in the
to talk
comments your
about.
thought on these topics, and until next time, Odera.
I love you all.
All right, bye.
Thanks for watching, and if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.